Joe, this is going to be a good game, isn't it?
This is going to be a fantastic, fantastic game. I mean, nerdRage are doing so well so far, and they also have that fantastic addition of the sniper as well, just to set things off. Oh, we're live already, apparently.
Yeah, we are into it here.
We're right into it, yeah. So we missed that first mid-fight, but it's gone disastrously for nerdRage. They picked up 2 frags there onto both of the soldiers, just going aggressive, making a lot of room for the rest of their team. But it is froyotech going absolutely huge.
Do you like that decision, sending Flippy, a sniper, into the mid?
Yeah, I think it's something that they do a lot, and it really depends on whether or not he can hit things, but it's also the job of the rest of his team to delay the aggression from the opposing team. And froyotech know that they're going to be running the sniper all the time. They've done their research. They know that nerdRage have this fantastic sniper. And so they're just going to be playing balls to the wall aggressive, I think, and just attempting to negate the sniper just through sheer aggression.
Right now, Shade does have the Uber tech going in for a bomb, and he forced that Uber out of Shade very easily. All he did was just be a threat by making the jump, and Shade popped it off. So he will at least get that force out. That'll leave Bull with some advantage here. They're at about 85%, getting ready to go. Flippy still remaining on sniper despite having this advantage, and Froyo does have control of the nerdRage cliffside here, but they get sent forward. Shade gets blasted by Tech here, and the Uber is up and ready for them. They're playing over on the left-hand side, over by Concrete. Tech's very hurt, needs to take some heals here. Blaze actually got taken out by Zebasai, but they come back with a couple of frags of their own. Froyo did here, but dropping a couple once again, so it's just Banny and Duatna left alive as they try to get themselves out of this, and nerdRage was able to take it without even having to use that Uber.
Yeah, Duatna's on 100 health. He's waiting for a bit of backup before he goes forward. The positioning from nerdRage completely in contrast to the positioning of froyotech when they have the point. nerdRage playing really far back, able to support Flippy. They have Zebasai sat on that cliff and on the rock, sorry, and Stark up on the fence on the cliff, able to deny these bombing soldiers. A nice air shot from Tech, and Stark onto Blaze. Duatna bombing in as well, and they are mopping up all of this aggression. They know exactly what froyotech are going to do to counter their strat, and they have positioned themselves accordingly there. Stark making fantastic use of that high ground along with Zebasai and Tech as well. They just have perfected this ability to hold with the sniper, and if froyotech try and walk it in slowly, which is the other option for them, they're going to meet Flippy. And the sightlines on this map so strong for a sniper of his caliber.
He's really just making it tough for Froyo to get in here. I mean, they have to be thinking about those sightlines constantly, and they're just forced to pop the Uber off of the cliffside, so they go into him, but Bull is just milking it like crazy. Still hasn't had to use it. Flippy finally gets taken out by Banny, but here comes nerdRage just straight back into them. They pop this Uber off. Zebasai and Stark both able to get some frags here. Zeb did get taken down at the end of it, but still they retain control of this point here, as they had a much better Uber, and Froyo still trying to work themselves back in here. They have a number advantage as well as the respawns to try and contest this point here. So Clockwork did get deleted off the map there by Starkey, and Ash is going to get taken out as well. nerdRage just re-pushing right back onto it. Great surf from Bull up onto China as well, keeping himself alive. Froyo with just 2 players up have to back themselves out of here. nerdRage still keeping this point.
God.
And I think Shade oh my goodness, 15 health.
Oh, and Stark finds the frag again. Just Stark is absolutely going wild there. Clockwork actually picks up both of them after they've extended a little too far for his liking, but they killed so many people there, the scouts, and that's the thing with nerdRage. They have the ability either to run Zebasai on that roaming soldier class and have Stark and Flippy on scout, or whenever Flippy goes over to the sniper role, they have Zebasai switch onto scout as well. It's just a fierce strategy, one that was pioneered by IM, of course, and it has been adopted by a lot of other people as well. Zebasai is going to take a lot of damage there, down to 4 health as froyotech pressure the point. The Uber charge is popped out, and now it's a case of how many frags can they get. Rib's gone down actually to Blaze, who manages to pick up Flippy as well here. This isn't great for nerdRage, only 3 of them left alive, and they have very long spawns, but they do only have 20 seconds really left on the clock.
Yeah, they're in total control as far as time goes on this round. They're forced to concede the point, just back up, wait for their respawns. Bull was able to stay alive. Shade is going to be up on an Uber here rather soon. He's at 90% as nerdRage now has their respawns. They're just hanging out over by this cliffside. Flippy is on scout for the time being as they just send all of their sacks on in to try and take care of Shade, getting so much damage out here as they've lost actually a couple players here. Froyo did. Shade didn't go down, at least for now, but they have a scout coming in from behind. That
great.
Starkey did force that Uber out of shade as they send themselves forward, the rest of the Froyo players, but
and
Uber
it's great
forced.
stuff because they managed to pick up all of those fragging classes as well, whose
Yeah.
respawns are much longer. And so nerdRage can push instantly as soon as the Uber charge is out. They're actually just shunting it through that right-hand side, the one that Banny's attempting to protect. He's actually still incredibly healthy, really great movement to be able to dodge all the damage, but he wasn't able to control that choke point. There are a few stickies on that rock on the right-hand side. Flippy spotted them, but takes a pill for his troubles and gets finished off by Ash. So now the respawn situation almost completely negated. The Uber charge is going to come out though. Shade doesn't have his Uber for quite a long time. There's a potential for a lot of frags to go the way of nerdRage here, but it's Clockwork who's come in behind, who's absolutely destroying nerdRage all over the place there. All over the place, and Clockwork is just going to pound the damage in from behind it. Ridiculous amounts of damage there with his scattergun, picking up frags left, right, and center.
This is a map we have seen Clockwork just absolutely wreak some havoc in. We casted those ESEA Invite Grand Finals where probably the best single performance by a scout you'll ever see.
82 frags in 40 minutes of Viaduct. It was absolutely insane. Look at Zebasai coming behind there onto Shade. He's going to actually pop off the Uber charge. They need to win this fight afterwards though, nerdRage. And Banny and Ash have found some frags. That is not great for them. They need to start getting on the point now. Bring the fight to the point for froyotech. They are allowing them to get time on the point. All froyotech have to do is recap though. If nerdRage do actually get that cap time, it would be wise for them to back off to their respawners and then finally push in once again. They need to hold it for 20 seconds after they actually get the cap. It was a tough ask there from nerdRage, and it's froyotech who take the first round. That was incredibly tight though.
It was. nerdRage started it off so well. I mean, Froyo got the point first, but nerdRage got it right back. Held it for a long time, but Froyo in the end just a little bit too strong, so they do take a 1-0 lead, but nerdRage very much in this one still as we head into our second mid-fight here, as we see Blaze is already working up that right-hand side. Banny's over there as well. Zebasai's the first victim here, but Banny gets traded out. Duatna's in, he's able to find some, and now it's just 3 players up for nerdRage. Right now it's a 4-on-3 fight for them as Flippy's trying to make something happen. Blaze is actually trying to get in onto Bull as well, and Rib, who's over there, and he was bringing out that skill stick, but he decides to back off. Bull did survive, but Froyo wins the mid.
Yeah, Froyo in control of this Viaduct mid, looking very strong in those situations. Flippy not deciding to run the sniper at the moment, sticking to the default strategy of those cookie cutter classes, the 2 scouts, the 2 soldiers, seeing what they can get done with that. Tech's going to bomb in now. He's taken quite a bit of damage in the air though, down to about 70 health. And Uber charges popped out of froyotech. Zebasai incredibly weak as well, but the counter Uber does come out. It's been flashed a few times from nerdRage here, but it is a slightly better Uber overall. It'll allow them to get onto the point, but Zebasai bombing in so deep, getting caught there by Ash in that underneath section. But everyone on froyotech is so hurt. They are massively damaged. The health advantage firmly in favor of nerdRage, and the scouts are going to come in to try and clean this up. There's only one man that can save this for them, and Clockwork does get taken down. Duatna as well, going to just get annihilated in midair by the hit scan coming out from Stark and Flippy. The scout synergy on the map is really incredible.
It's looking great so far. They've got control of the point. nerdRage, Froyo getting their respawns here. Bull also has a good bit of advantage to work with here, or hold that point just a bit longer with, as Froyo now starting to move themselves forward. See maybe if they can get some picks and get a cheeky one onto Bull if possible, but there's actually 2 coming through for them right there. Speaking of the frags, Clockwork, Banny both able to get one. Clockwork getting yet another one onto Rib actually, as now nerdRage is down 3 players and the Uber is forced to be used, and Bull's getting trapped in there by Clockwork, easily able to take care of Bull after the fight, but Stark, who's still in, is able to get a couple. Actually, Shade and Duatna with his pistol. Tech in, Stark getting a 3rd one yet with his scattergun, finally getting taken out, but he's able to do a lot of work right there.
Yeah, and all they've done there is eat the time away on the point as well. froyotech unable to really start that point when they had 2 down. 2 behind them, not 2 down. Just distracting everybody from froyotech, allowing the rest of nerdRage to get their spawns. I'd be really interested to hear the froyotech comms as well and see how they're handling this, how they want to push forward.
We're on point right now.
Soldier behind that house.
I piped a lot. Oh my god,
I didn't even know you guys were pushing them. You need to call that.
Tyler said he was behind, and we were going.
Didn't say he was going for medic or anything.
We're 60. They might have slight advantage
I
here.
think so.
Soldier right.
Remain.
I'm backing up. Soldier on me
Soldier's in.
now.
He's dead.
Scout's piped on left.
I'm right side right now.
Soldier behind right. Got him. Scout point took 16.
I'm with Blaze right side.
We're fighting point, guys.
Platform.
We're fighting point. They cap, it's fine. They get slower spawns
Blaze
now.
is in
It's
right.
fine.
I'm with you, man.
Jumping.
We just need to cap. We just need to cap.
We have Uber now.
All right, so that is going to be now both teams actually exchanging their Ubers as Banny's going to get sent right back forward, trying to get into Bull, and he's actually able to find that one. Froyo just off on their Uber there, but nerdRage down 3 at the moment. Froyo is going to grab this point back and start ticking down on that time just a bit more. Tech is in on Cliff, but I would expect him to maybe go down here, just very minimal health. Actually, oh, there it is. Duatna finishes him off, so Froyo with that point.
Yeah, Froyo have control of the point now, trying to take down the time. They're 30 seconds behind nerdRage, but the tiny little bits of advantage don't really matter until you start getting down into the final minute, really. And it does come down to how you play the point really very effectively and how you play the Uber charges as well. Very passive positioning here from froyotech because they know that they're not up against a sniper. Flippy really not feeling it perhaps, or they want to try something different here against froyotech. Not quite sure, but Banny and Blaze are going to be going aggressive. Mopped up here by Tech though. All the health really, really low on nerdRage, but they're finding the frags everywhere there. Start going aggressive, takes down Ash and Clockwork, and he's hunting for more in through this middle section. He wants to try and find Shade or Duatna, actually going to back off as he just sees them go into spawn and get some respawns there. He's not going to chase frags and die when his team has the point, but he was willing to go and see if he could maybe find a cheeky one onto Shade.
And they only need 45 more seconds here, nerdRage, and they'll pick up a round. Flippy goes down, though, as Banny bombs in. The Uber is popped out of Bull, but Shade still hasn't used his yet. They will have such a better Uber here. froyotech. Tech is getting in behind. That's a mouthful. Tech is behind them, and Bull's going to get caught out here. Actually had a nice little surf around the corner, but eventually just crushed by all those froyotech players in there.
Look at Stark and Tech behind. Stark and Tech are kind of stuck behind when their team don't have the point. Stark's going to be running all the way back. He's going to meet up with Flippy and attempt to make a play onto Shade. Flippy is the finishing blow there onto Shade. Tech takes down Banny as well. It's going to be mopped up in the end, but they've got that frag onto the North American medic, and that's going to open things up as we get down into the final seconds. If they can get an Uber charge up before the end, which is feasibly possible, they're going to have to push non-Uber either way, though. Otherwise, the time on the point for froyotech is just going to be ticked down far too low here. Froyo going to be backing it up. The time on the point here, both 25 seconds.
Oh,
nice shot
what a
there.
shot.
Blaze destroyed as he attempted a bomb in. Banny's taken down as well. There goes Duatna. Shade's really quite weak, and the aggression coming out from Stark and Flippy. Stark's still leading them on a ring of Rosie. He's going to take a 1v1. Loses it to Clockwork, actually, but they have control of the point here, nerdRage. 10 seconds ticking down. They're going to set up and attempt to defend this. Their Uber charge is going to be up in just a few seconds as well. They have 90%. They can afford to wait for this. With 25 seconds remaining, the smart players to wait for their respawners and push in. All they have to do is cap this to tie it up at 1 round apiece.
And it looks like they are trying to do that just now. Zepasai going in for a huge bomb on the Shade, just forced him all the way back, but still froyotech is collected up on a couple of frags here. They use this Uber to try and get the point, but they're down 3 at the moment. nerdRage is, this could be a bit of trouble for them. They're getting blasted back as Tech is trying to make a miraculous play to save this one, but it's just a few players up for them. I don't know if they can do it. They can't. froyotech is going to win it in just the dying seconds of the round as they take a 2-0 lead now.
And they put themselves in such a good position there, nerdRage, to take it, and then Zebasai flung himself in ahead of the Uber charge. They really should be leading with the Uber when all they need to do is either force the players off the point and cap it, or get a few frags and have the respawn advantage in order to be able to have a better non-Uber fight. That was really poorly played at the end there when it really mattered from nerdRage.
Here we go into the next mid with nerdRage with their backs against the wall. They're able to get Banny to start it off, and here comes the aggression out of the soldiers on the side of nerdRage. They get Ash and Clockwork as they are down 4 players now. froyotech is, Shade is able to get himself out, but there it is, nerdRage with a much better looking mid fight there.
Yeah, and it's incredibly interesting to me that they aren't trying this sniper strat at all. Perhaps something they're saving for the brackets, perhaps something that they've read into, and they just weren't feeling it right at the beginning when froyotech were able to counter them on that mid fight. It really seems like they haven't tried it very much. They're sticking to this default 2 soldier, 2 scout strategy. It's not working out too badly for them. They just need to perfect it a little bit more because froyotech have the better of them now. Look at this double soldier aggression to take down Zebasai, but he actually trades, and Flippy's coming in for the frag. In the meantime, the Ubers have been traded. It's a slightly better Uber charge here for froyotech, with 3 players down from nerdRage and control of the point, giving them longer respawns. They're going to have to back up. Stark's going aggressive, trying to make a play onto Shade. Doesn't manage to find the frag onto the froyotech medic, and now he's going to have a tiny marginal advantage, but the key thing is the respawn times, which are in favor of nerdRage.
Flippy had gone spy for just a second, kind of walked out, but I guess he had second thoughts about doing that. So nerdRage is now going to start to try and move in through main here, but Froyo's got a very strong forward hold on them as Rib and Tech actually able to collect up on a couple of Blazing Clockwork, so they are continuing to try and move through this main as Froyo now has been forced to back up just a bit, and nerdRage is going to continue this aggression here as Tech getting ready to make some jumps forward here. Flippy's going to move towards the point as well as nerdRage has got themselves up. Shade is just about to be, actually Bull's up on his Uber right now. Shade is just shortly behind him as both teams have it right now. A lot of cap time on it for nerdRage, and they do get this point back, but you will be seeing froyotech come in here, I would expect, in just a second. They have this Uber. nerdRage has it too. Should get exchanged on the point here as it is. Both teams popping it off, but not really too much action on it. It'll be after these Ubers fade. Banny actually get blasted once by Tech, and Clockwork is still in right now. Banny goes down, Tech gets out of it. Clockwork is down as well here. So Froyo down 2 and nerdRage in control of the point still.
Yeah, they seem to be doing very well in these messy DM situations, nerdRage. Just sometimes the Uber charge is controlled so perfectly by froyotech. That was not one of those situations. They're able to get the better of it, retain control of the point despite a little bit of cap time there put on by Froyo, but they're going to be pushing in. They are currently half a minute down, but we've seen this before. nerdRage looking so good, throwing it away in the dying moments. Blaze is making a little play behind. Clockwork's taking quite a lot of damage, but it's froyotech taking all the position. Flippy's gone back to deal with Blaze, and now they can focus full tension ahead. Here comes Zebasai and Tech in with the bomb. They're going to be pushing these froyotech players right back into that right-hand side corner. Duwan has taken down Zebasai, kills himself, but it's not going to stop the rest of nerdRage storming forwards, and Stark is on an absolute roll. He's having a phenomenal map so far.
He really is. He's had Shade's number for a decent bit of this map. He's gotten him a few times now, and nerdRage just in total control of the point. I was a little bit concerned that they didn't decide to go back to the sniper thing, but it seems to be working out for them so far on this round at least. But they've been in this situation before where they've had a lot of time advantage on Froyo, but just ended up not being able to seal the deal on the round, so we'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, this is a very large time advantage, but with Tech bombing in there, Bull actually drops his pocket. It doesn't matter though, because Blaze and Duwan are taken down by the aggressive players. Oh, and there goes Banny, but Stark and Flip both down to these players behind. Bull gets the frag on Clockwork, who's been having a hell of a game himself. He always plays so well on Viaduct. It's almost it would almost be a bit odd if he didn't have a hell of a game on Viaduct, but he's putting his team in great situations. But this is their best opportunity right now, nerdRage, to be able to secure a round here. Shade's gone down as well to some aggression from Zebasai, and now nerdRage are coming in, attempting to block the point instead of recapping in. Nice air shot by Tech there to take down the bombing soldier, but it's an incredibly close fight actually. Stark is going to try and take this one with his heals against Clockwork and Duwatner. He definitely can do it. He's going to take down Duwatner. Now he's in a 1v1. He does have the heal advantage. He should be able to take this. Zebasai as well coming together, and that is the first round on Viaduct. That is the first round that the Europeans have got against froyotech.
Oh, it's about time, and that makes things just a bit more interesting here. 2-1, as you said. froyotech still has this advantage, but that one-round lead, I should say, but nerdRage looking much better on that round, winning it pretty commandingly. So we'll see what happens on this one as both soldiers getting aggressive on the side of froyotech here. Clockwork's the first victim of the mid, though, and they actually have some good positioning here, Froyo does, but they're down 3 players, so they need to be careful. They're backing themselves up right now. Zebasai's in behind them as well, able to make Blaze crater, and nerdRage is going to pick up on this first midpoint.
Yeah, Zebo had a fantastic bomb onto Shade as well and managed to take him down in 2 rockets and then just flee before anybody from froyotech could turn their attention over to him. Then picks up the second frag onto Blaze. So great roaming plays from him. Perhaps it's him that's led this strategy change. Maybe he's not feeling the scout, instead doing work on roaming soldier instead. Phenomenal player. Banny's going to bomb in now, attempting to get onto Bull here because he has that Uber advantage to bomb in from Duwatner, and it is going to force the Uber charge out. That was really all that froyotech were going for. Ash is building the Uber charge with Shade, so that's success from Froyo. They'll be happy with that suicide run. Are nerdRage going to transition here to an aggressive hold? Doesn't look like it, but Zebasai is sidling forwards. It's just going to be sat in this right-hand side from his perspective. But nobody from froyotech is going there whatsoever. That does mean he's set up in a nice little angle to get right behind them, though. Just about now, he's going to be coming up behind the rest of their team and does force it out of froyotech and still manages to escape as well. No, actually, Ash finds that frag, but the Uber charge has been taken out completely here, and bluee will have his in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, I should be able to repush quite easily here in nerdRage. They are down Zebasai, but he's getting his respawn just now, so nerdRage definitely looking to take this Uber on into the point and grab it back and keep this hefty lead in time that they have at the moment. Just under a minute in the lead, and they could gain even more here with this push, but Flippy dying to the stick trap at Duatna's. They're trying to move forward on this. Still haven't popped the Uber out quite yet. Zebasai rocking Ash there. Actually, bluee got rocked by Tech, I believe it was, so that is now nerdRage sending forward. They've gotten about half the time down onto the point. Still haven't used this Uber yet, though. Finally popping it off. Gave Shade long enough to get his Uber as well, so they exchanged it on the point, but nerdRage unable to cap up on it yet. Tech having a battle with Banny over on the cliffside, and Flippy's trying to come and help the cause there as well, but both teams full players up, all 6, and the time is so close on this point to being capped, but just unable to quite find it is nerdRage, and they have to be careful because bluee is behind as well as Flippy goes down, so the fight continues here, but Zebasai gets crunched in by the scouts, and now it is going to be nerdRage down 3, and they have to back up.
Yeah, nerdRage were in a situation where it was kind of 50-50. They didn't want to commit to it just in case they lost some, but nerdRage can commit as much as they like because they have the respawn advantage, and there really is no penalty there for going in and dying and trading with people. It's advantageous if they trade. It's froyotech who are in the bad position if they trade because of their longer respawns. So I'd like to see a little more aggression, a bit more commitment to the full team fights there if nerdRage is in that situation again. What is this from Stark? He's pushing out as Pyro on that left-hand side, just making sure that they break that forward defense. He'll now go back to Scout, but bluee trying to get an angle in there onto bluee. Instead, not going to find him, and the Uber's traded on the mid-fight. It's a slightly better Uber here from Shade, once again in control of that, but bluee is going down. It's weak here from Ash, but bluee drops as well. Drops down into the respawn queue here. 4v4, Duana really weak. The health on nerdRage not good. It's now 2v3. Can they manage to clean it out? No, Clockwork is a man on a mission. Him and Ash syncing up to drop everybody from nerdRage.
This is what you expect to see at a Clockwork on a map like Viaduct. He's continuing his reign of terror onto nerdRage, and well, at one point in this game, Froyo was down quite a bit on time, but they've managed to claw their way back in it, and they have now gotten themselves down to just 25 seconds, actually, is all they need to finish this one off. Flippy's able to get bluee, Ash gets Rib, and Starky's able to get a frag as well. So a good bit of frags coming through on the side of nerdRage. They're actually able to cap this point back up. Shade and Banny, Duana all get themselves out over on the cliff side, but nerdRage still at a pretty big deficit here. They're going to have to hold this one off for quite a while as they get their respawns.
Zebasai's in. Zebasai wants to really get onto Shade here. He's trying to get the frag onto the medic, but Shade is just dancing around that cliff area, and Zebo misses all of his rockets after the first one just to soften Shade up. That's an unsuccessful bomb. He doesn't quite have his Uber up yet, but bluee does. I wonder if they're going to try and use this Uber advantage and go aggressive. It has been forced out of them, and Shade has the counter Uber now, just going to pop it off. And every single one of nerdRage's Ubers have been bad Uber charges. They've had to pop earlier. They haven't been able to get any room with them. They're not sending Tech behind in an attempt to distract like they were in the previous rounds. Stark is behind at the moment, though, but the time only ticking down now to 10 seconds. He's going to have to play for the point. He has been spotted, though, by Ash and Clockwork. He's just going to be dancing around there, trying to get some extra time so that nerdRage get that overtime and they're able to have the fight. He wins the 1v1, actually, against Clockwork. But Ash, oh, nice shot by Tech there to take down the other scout on that team, but Banny's coming in and he smells blood. He's attempting to get all of these frags. Flippy's chasing him down, a sat on his head, attempting to pistol him. Will eventually get the winger frag there onto Banny. So there's one team fight that they ended up winning, but they had somebody behind that time. They had a bit of initiation. I feel that's what froyotech are lacking. nerdRage are lacking, that froyotech are doing so well at. They have Blazing behind, making a bit of room for them. They have Banny bombing in, and they're able to really open things up for themselves.
bluee's tried getting in there as well. Did manage to get himself out, but nerdRage needs to be absolutely perfect here if they want to win this round, because Froyo is very close to this, but nerdRage getting a lot of frags here as it's just Shade left who's all by himself here, so that's easy pickings for Tech as he picks up
And look at
2
the time,
frags there.
Gecks. Look at the time. It was looking so good for froyotech, but with only 30 seconds left and an Uber charge just about to come up, this is going to be incredibly close here. froyotech have really only one chance of making this work, and that is if Bull drops or drops a ton of players, because there is no way he should be able to lose this team fight as froyotech are forced to flood onto the point and give themselves a little bit of overtime. He'll have his Uber charge to be able to use it. It is popped off now. Then froyotech need to scatter. They need to scatter instantly, and that's exactly what they've done. Banny is actually going to find the frag onto Rib. The rest of froyotech chasing down players from behind, but they absolutely have to get onto that point right now, and nerdRage are going to know it. They're going to be flooding on, but it's a situation where whoever manages to win this team fight has won the round, and if froyotech win the round, they've won the map. So it's so close here. Shade actually goes down, but Clockwork's found frags on Stark and Zebasai. He's going to combine with Ash, and they win that one. So close.
Yeah,
Close.
We thought that was absolutely nerdRage's round, but not the case. You know, they had the Uber and they just weren't able to win that team fight. Once again, froyotech still undefeated through this play here. They take that game against nerdRage 3-1. They are looking excellent. I mean, nerdRage just had so many close rounds with them. Just close but no cigar, really. They just can't seal the deal. Nobody can seem to seal the deal on these rounds against froyotech. So
yeah, absolutely. And it is credit to them because they're able to play it so well that they have that ability to take situations where they're on the back foot and just hold people back and give themselves enough time to be able to get those heals, to get that position, and then are able to attack once again. It's fantastic stuff from the froyotech team, but if you're nerdRage right now, you've got to be absolutely gutted that you weren't able to convert that because they were in a situation where they should have been able to get at least 2 extra rounds there, which would have scored them the victory. I mean, that was just very tiny things on Viaduct lead you to take the entire round.
And do you think, too, that they should have tried using that flippy strat a little bit more? Because, I mean, we only saw them use it off the initial start and then just never again throughout the whole thing, and it seemed to be working well for them for a little while, but they decided to drop it.
It certainly worked well for them against other teams. When they tried it at the beginning, there was a period where they tried it right at the beginning, and for the mid-fight, it didn't work out too well for them. After that, they experimented with it for less than 30 seconds, maybe a minute, something like that, and then never touched it again. I would have liked to see them use it a little bit, maybe just try it out for a round, but they really wanted to use it. Okay, we're going to have a look at the logs from that game now. We're going to bring them up onto the stream and see if we can have a look at what is going on for the... and see who came out with the huge plays, because I saw Clockwork there having a look at them.
I was going to say, I'd like to see his DPM, because his DPM and frag count, I have to imagine that he top fragged in that one, because Clockwork is just an absolute beast on Viaduct.
Absolutely.
You know, really the best scout in the world, and it's just him on Viaduct. It's a playground for that guy. Absolute playground.
It really is. You get the feeling that he just loves playing it, because he's so good at it. It just works perfectly well, and he's able to get fantastic stats. I mean, he went 39 for 20 there with 379 damage per minute. He's doing so well. Actually, top damaging out of the entire server apart from Dewantner. And Dewantner pumped out so much damage there. I mean, for a demo man post nerf, that's a ridiculous amount of damage and quite a low amount of deaths. So I don't want to just... and I think that's one of the biggest things for froyotech is the way that they're able to put out such coordinated and excellent spam from their heavies. I think that's one of the ways that they are outplaying Reason, and certainly one of the ways that they are outplaying nerdRage, is that they're able to put their heavies in a situation where they can really spam very effectively and do a whole lot of damage just whenever required, and then they have the scouts to clean it up. I mean, I don't think the scouts really were much different. I think Stark as well had a fantastic game. Flippy played pretty well. He was there always to defend his medic, and I don't think that was really the difference. I really think it is. It's the way that the heavies have of Banny and Duwatner particularly, but bluee's also getting behind and doing some all right plays.
Right.
But it's Banny and Duwatner that they're able to coordinate their spam so well when people are trying to aggress them, and it just shuts them down.
And like you said, you have Ash and Clockwork to go in and clean up on that damage. They did it so well that game, and also to give a little bit of credit to Starkey, because he sat at 38 and 19 during that game as well. 272 DPM, still really good stuff coming out from Stark as well in that game. And nerdRage just so close on so many rounds, weren't quite able to do it. Bull actually died less than Shade throughout that game as well, died 2 times less. And you can see the sorted stats out here now. Bull still, I thought he played pretty darn well in that game, at least got himself out of there. But in the end, froyotech taking it 3-1, still just undefeated here.
Yeah.
It can crack that code to beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting the way it's turned out. I was just interested to have a look at the heal stats and see how things were working out for their teams, because Banny is always incredibly healthy. He's actually receiving less heals than Tech is. If you have a look at his damage taken, it's quite significantly less than the other pocket. He always seems to be healthier in the situations where he's taking them on head to head. He seems to drop back exactly when needed, so that he's then able to aggress again when he has 300 pretty quickly. It's excellent play by him. He's really stepping things up for this.
Well, there you have it, 3-1 it is. froyotech taking down nerdRage. Thought maybe that might be the team to beat him, but seems that is not, definitely not the case here. So, we'll have to see if somebody maybe can take them throughout these group stages.
Absolutely. A shout out as well to the raffle going on right now. You guys can join in the raffle if you go to scrap.tf/TFTV. I can see it up there on the screen for you right now. So if you type that, paste that into your URL bar, you can have a look at the raffle that we've got currently going on. That's open to everybody watching. So have a look in there, see if it takes your fancy, and pop it in. Run the raffle, run your chances. Go and see if you're luckier than I am, luckier than nerdRage are.
Yeah, I was gonna say luckier than nerdRage might be the key there. At least hope you are. So that at least I think that leads us to a break for right now. I think we have a little bit of lapse in the time here, about an hour or so. Maybe we might push it along a little bit because of the delays that we had earlier. But we will be having. I believe our next game will be TLR and froyotech. I think maybe, at least I'm looking at my schedule here. So nerdRage versus Reason. Never mind. Don't listen to what I say. nerdRage versus Reason is going to be the next game coming up here. So we're going to go ahead, take a little bit of a break here real quick and get that match set up for you guys. Don't go anywhere. nerdRage, Reason coming up here in just a bit.